These are 7 tiers of Bentley ownership that separate drivers who purchase a badge from collectors who acquire appreciating assets. At a specific tier, a Bentley stops operating as mere transport and transforms into an heirloom, a bespoke commission, or a heavy financial trap. Today we examine the stark realities of this British motoring empire in June 2026, where the ground is shifting rapidly under the feet of the ultra-rich. For some, owning one of these hand-assembled machines represents the peak of luxury. For others, it yields a harsh lesson in sudden wealth destruction. During the 2025 F1 weekend in Abu Dhabi, a billionaire rolled up to an auction block with a 1 of 12 $2 million Bentley Bacalar. The crowd watched the room deliver a cold, hard dose of reality as the auction hammer fell at just $876,875. That single moment exposed a huge $1 million depreciation trap in elite-tier car collecting. So today we are breaking down the 8 levels of Bentley, spanning from the cheapest entry point on the used market to the rarest multi-million-dollar coach-built statements. You might believe you understand how this hierarchy works, but the reality on the ground differs completely from the sales brochure. Let us get into it. Level 1 is the entry point, and it looks like an absolute bargain from the outside. You can browse online classifieds right now and find a first-generation Bentley Continental GT, manufactured between 2003 and 2011, trading hands for $25,000 to $35,000. That costs less than a basic family sedan. Buyers believe they have cracked the code to looking wealthy for cheap, but they are stepping directly into a financial minefield. This is the model that shared its underlying architecture with the Volkswagen Phaeton, meaning it carries Volkswagen parts bin complexity wrapped in British leather. Here's the part Bentley does not advertise in their certified pre-owned brochures. The engine bay of these early cars is packed so tightly that basic components remain almost impossible to reach. If a single rubber vacuum line cracks or the starter motor fails, a mechanic cannot simply reach in with a wrench. The vacuum lines were constructed from cheap plastic that degrades over time under the immense heat of the twin-turbo W12 engine. Because these lines run along the top of the transmission, replacing them requires dropping the entire powertrain out of the vehicle. That basic labor alone routinely costs $10,000 or more at a specialist shop. One minor mechanical hiccup instantly totals the vehicle. You are not buying a cheap supercar. You are buying a $30,000 ticket to a $10,000 repair bill. So how did these machines become such a high-stakes gamble? Subscribe to this channel and you will start noticing how many luxury traps hide right under your nose. Level 2 takes us to the ultimate modern cash cow. The Bentayga starts around $200,000 and accounts for a huge portion of the company's global sales. This is the model engineered for wealthy suburban families who want to rise above the standard Range Rover crowd. Who actually buys this? It is the premium daily driver of choice for real estate developers, plastic surgeons, and affluent parents who want to dominate the school drop-off lane. Under the skin, it shares its MLB Evo platform with the Audi Q7 and Porsche Cayenne, but Bentley covers every visible surface in high-grade leather and real wood veneers to justify the heavy premium. The interior construction requires exactly 15 bull hides, which are hand-stitched by factory workers and crew to form a cabin of unmatched quietness. Because of this shared architecture, it drives with an incredibly polished competence, but it also depreciates like a rock thrown off a cliff. Buying a brand new Bentayga means accepting that you will lose $50,000 of value the moment you sign the paperwork and drive it off the dealership lot. A 5-year-old model can easily be found for half its original sticker price. The secondary market treats them like disposable luxury technology rather than timeless automotive art. Level 3 is the Continental GT, the definitive grand tourer that defined the modern era of the brand. This is the 2-door coupe that sits at the center of Bentley's identity. If you buy a new one today in 2026, you are looking at a starting price of roughly $250,000. For decades, this car was defined by its heavy engines that guzzled fuel while delivering relentless highway speed. But the market has shifted, and Bentley recently executed a major pivot. They officially ended production of their legendary 6.0-liter W12 engine in 2024. Now, the modern Continental GT relies on a heavy plug-in hybrid setup. This is a heavy transition for traditionalists who loved the pure, uninterrupted combustion of 12 cylinders. But the engineering reality is hard to argue with. The new system pairs a twin-turbo V8 with an electric motor, giving the driver immediate, silent torque. It represents the sweet spot for the buyer who wants to drive themselves rather than sit in the back. The heavy battery pack actually lowers the center of gravity, which improves high-speed cornering stability. It can run on pure electricity for up to 50 miles, allowing owners to glide silently through zero-emission city zones in European capitals. Level 4 brings us to the Flying Spur, which is the traditional 3-box luxury sedan of the lineup. It starts around $230,000 and serves as the ultimate dual-purpose machine. This is the car for the executive who wants to sit in the rear seat with a laptop during the work week, but still wants to take the wheel on the weekend. It is incredibly long, imposing, and demands respect on the road. The interior features rear seats that massage, heat, and recline, while dual-pane acoustic glass completely isolates the cabin from the outside world. The front end features an illuminated three-dimensional flying bee mascot that electronically retracts into the hood when the car is locked. Drivers can also opt for a three-way rotating dashboard that flips between a high-resolution touchscreen, 3 analog dials, and a clean wood veneer panel. Here is the honest take on this level. Sedan sales are dropping globally, and like its two-door sibling, the Flying Spur suffers from incredibly harsh depreciation. It is a brilliant piece of engineering, but the market views large luxury sedans as outdated transport compared to high-riding SUVs. If you want to see exactly how these numbers play out, check out my breakdown of what Bentley ownership actually costs, including depreciation, servicing, and the numbers that surprise first-time owners. Linked below if it is useful. Next up is the high-performance tier, represented by the Continental GT Speed. This is where the numbers get truly wild. The 2025 and 2026 GT Speed models feature the new ultra-performance hybrid system. This setup pairs a 4.0-liter V8 with a powerful electric motor to generate an absolute peak of 782 horsepower. That is more power than almost any pure gas-powered Bentley in history, defying the laws of physics for a vehicle that weighs well over 5,400 pounds. Traditionalists initially scoffed at the idea of a plug-in hybrid Bentley, but the raw performance figures have silenced most critics. The active all-wheel drive system, electronic limited slip differential, and four-wheel steering work together to mask the vehicle's weight. The catch is that you are carrying a heavy battery pack everywhere you go, changing the fundamental balance of the chassis. But on a straight highway, nothing matches the relentless power of this hybrid system. If this breakdown is hitting different, take a second to hit like. It genuinely helps the algorithm show this to more people who need to see it. Level 6 takes us to Mulliner Bespoke. This is not just choosing a paint color from a standard list. This is Bentley's specialized division taking your personal requests and turning them into physical reality. At this tier, customers routinely spend $20,000 to $50,000 on standard customization and options alone, though highly bespoke requests can easily push that number past $100,000, pushing the total price of a Continental GT or Flying Spur well past the $350,000 mark. We are talking about matching the leather seats to the exact shade of your favorite watch dial, or sourcing stone veneers that are sliced to a fraction of a millimeter to decorate the dashboard. The paint shop alone offers over 80 choices when including the extended and Mulliner paint palettes, plus an infinite custom matching program where they can match the paint to an autumn leaf or a silk tie. The artisans at the factory and crew spend hundreds of hours hand-stitching the steering wheels and aligning the wood grain perfectly. This level features the diamond-in-diamond quilting pattern, which requires exactly 712 stitches per individual diamond. Who actually buys this? It is the level of luxury reserved for those who find standard premium cars too common. They want to ensure that when they pull up to a country club, their interior is completely unique. To these owners, a standard production car feels mass-produced, so they spend the equivalent of a small house on options just to secure absolute exclusivity. Level 7 takes us back to the traditional flagship era, specifically the retired Bentley Mulsanne. Bentley officially retired this titan of luxury in 2020, and with it, they ended the run of the legendary twin-turbocharged 6.75-liter L-Series V8. That motor was in continuous production in various forms for over 60 years. The Mulsanne was the absolute pinnacle of traditional British coach building, built on its own unique platform rather than sharing parts with cheaper German brands. It did not try to be sporty or nimble. It was a rolling fortress of steel, leather, and wood. When new, these machines easily cleared $300,000, and today they represent a very specific type of old money taste. Because they are no longer in production, they have started to find a stable floor in the used market, attracting collectors who realize that Bentley will never build a car with that level of heavy, handcrafted solidness again. This model represents the end of an era where sheet metal was hand-brazed by master craftsmen who spent decades perfecting their trade. The hand-stitched leather steering wheel alone took 15 hours to craft, while the rear seat picnic tables feature multiple layers of wood veneer and solid metal hinges. Level 8 is the final level, where Bentley stops making cars and starts creating highly exclusive collectibles. This is the domain of ultra-rare, multi-million-dollar coach-built machines like the Bacalar and the Batour. The roofless Bacalar Grand Tourer was capped at a production run of exactly 12 customer units globally. It has no roof, no reverse camera, and a cabin designed to withstand the elements, prompting critics to joke that owners must fly the car to where the sun is. Bentley followed this with the Batour Coupe, limited to exactly 18 customer units, carrying a base price of roughly $2.1 million. The Batour was built to celebrate the absolute end of the W12 engine, packing a peak of 740 horsepower, making it the most powerful version of the twin-turbo 6.0-liter engine ever built. Bentley's former director of design, Andreas Mint, noted that his team wanted to showcase a new design language. But these multi-million-dollar toys have a major dark side. The December 2025 RM Sotheby's auction of a Bacalar for $876,875 proved that these modern collector cars are highly vulnerable to massive depreciation, shattering the myth that ultra-exclusivity guarantees immediate appreciation. This high-profile sale sent shockwaves through the market, forcing wealthy collectors to realize that even one of 12 coach-built vehicles can lose half their value in a few short years when the speculative bubble bursts. This is the reality of the final level. You are no longer buying a vehicle. You are buying a highly speculative asset that is subject to the unpredictable whims of the secondary collector market. So here is the honest verdict. At the lower end, a cheap used Bentley is a mechanical trap waiting to empty your bank account. In the middle, the Bentayga and Continental GT are incredible luxury machines, but they will lose half their value in a few short years. At the absolute top, the multi-million-dollar Mulliner coach builds are stunning pieces of automotive art, but they are highly speculative assets that can easily lose $1 million of value on the secondary market. The sweet spot of the entire lineup is actually a slightly used Continental GT or Flying Spur that has already taken its massive initial depreciation hit. That is where you get the true handcrafted luxury experience without the eye-watering financial loss of buying brand new. If any of this stuck with you, like and subscribe. There is so much more to uncover.